Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Chapter 15 and the Gilbert Paralogue of the Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Blue Lions, Maddening Mode, low turn count playthrough. I'm Mekkah, I'm not playing, I'm just commentating. So, we've entered a part of the game where a lot of the maps become either kill boss or kill all bosses. And these objectives are pretty much trivial for the army that we have raised with all these Wyvern Riders, triple warp, stride. We even have SMITE on Gilbert, who is also very useful for that kind of stuff. Dance of the Goddess, of course, and a Dancer. It makes it all very trivial. So the main difficulty actually comes from planning the training of our units, making sure that they can kill someone every turn, maybe even kill multiple people using the dances that we have available, maximizing our XP gain, and also making sure that we take battalion chip, mostly on flying battalions, because a lot of these battalions got repaired in the time skip, and sometimes we repaired them by ourselves. For example, here we have the Reacher use a rusted bow to hit a sniper at range, just to make sure that he gets doubled and takes maximum battalion damage. Now, of course, we also just want to train these battalions to give them some XP. Byleth does the same thing. The funny thing with Byleth is that we gave her so much defense just to survive hunting by daybreak that it becomes pretty hard for her to train and chip battalions at once. But she has to see a lot of combat, so she's still a good candidate for it. So it actually turns out that hunting by daybreak is screwing us over on this aspect, even after we've beaten it, which I find is kind of funny. So obviously we're going to set up a Dance of the Goddess formation using Felix and Dimitri over here on the lava. The lava impedes the movements of mounted units quite well, but flyers can just kind of fly over it. We're going to include burn data information as well, again, to make sure we get extra movement on our boss killer. Now, Felix accidentally breaks formation here, but thankfully Linhardt is here to clear that up for us. We're going to use a cute warp to put him right back in formation, just so that Annette can get Dance of the Goddess in all 4 of these units. You might wonder why Felix is in an archer. The reason for that is similar to why Sylvain was not in Wyvern Rider but in Brigand in Chapter 12, the Garrick Mock Defense chapter, before the time skip. And it's because he still has a class to master. He's working on mastering archer. He's very close, actually. He's going to reach it in this video. And he has Sylvain with him as an adjutant for mastering Brigand, which is the same duo that killed the Death Knight way back with the Knowledge Gem for the same reason. This does make getting him to the boss a little bit more complicated, but like I said, we have overkill movement, so it really it's not a problem. Instead, we can use this one turn fully to our advantage by maximizing our battalion damage, our battalion training, and our experience. This does come at the cost of our reliability when killing Gwendol. As you can see, he's really bulky, and we need some sort of a critical hit with either the hammer or the rapier plus to get to him. But we have multiple ways to do both the combat against him and the combat against the unit we do previously. So even if we fail now, we can Divine Pulse back to before he fights one of the enemies and try it again with a different order. And if we have to, we can always just restart the map entirely to get a completely different roll of RNG. So that way, even though we have to rely on a somewhat low % crit, it's not as bad for reliability as it otherwise could have been, because this map just isn't that long, so we're starting it not a big deal. And that's really all there is to this map. We missed out on a couple treasure chests, but they're not relevant. If we could save turns by getting treasure, we would, but at this point in the game, there's almost no resource that we really need anymore. So, that's Chapter 15 in one turn. Let us move on to the Gilbert Paralogue. So this is the first post-time skip paralogue that we're doing, and these have a reputation for being pretty hard. Think of, for example, the Petra Bernadetta paralogue or the Marianne paralogue. Really long maps that take quite a while to complete on a casual playthrough. This is a map that I think almost everyone finds pretty easy. It is just a kill boss map. I think you're supposed to like defend Gilbert and Annette before they get killed. They do start in an isolated corner all by themselves, but they're not helpless as they would be if you haven't trained them. This paralogue is exclusive to the Blue Lions, and it can only be unlocked by having a C support between Annette and Gilbert. I think in our case they have an A support, but Gilbert is a Blue Lions only unit, so if you've never seen this paralogue, that's probably why.
What's my strategy?
Byleth is a Pegasus Knight, even though the higher movement could be helpful sometimes, but we still want to master that class. Darting Blow is of course a pretty good skill, and you can see she's 2 points away from mastering it after she kills this initial archer. Similar idea with Sylvain. He is of course having Felix with him as his adjutant, and we want them to master Brigand Death Blow and Archer hit plus 20 respectively in this chapter, which is why we're emphasizing them when it comes to getting XP and combat a little bit. Although for some reason it looks like we're not including Sylvain in our Dance of the Goddess formation, but that is until Byleth is able to escape it with a warp. Now this warp has 8 range from Linhardt, And that allows you to get into just the right position to both get a kill on this boss, the sniper boss that has close counter. That way we're going to chip down the battalion a little more on her. But it also allows us to actually include Sylvain in the dancer formation after all, thanks to another warp by Scythia. Pretty neat. I really like these little optimizations and like fake out dancer formations that we're doing. So as you can see, we've passed down the Dance of the Goddess battalion from Annette to Leonie, because Leonie is level 20, so she has extra movement and is able to be more flexible with who she dances. Now Byleth masters the Pegasus Knight class, picks up a Black Pearl from the boss that she defeats, and then positions herself near the boss so that we can make use of Professor Experience Plus to gain XP on our other units, such as Sedeth, who we're now prioritizing. You're going to see a little bit more of Sedeth and also of Gilbert within the next few videos than you would see normally. I mean, they're like post-time skip units, basically, so that makes sense, right? We trade the Experience Gem to Sylvain in exchange for a Knowledge Gem. That seems a little bit superfluous on Bernadetta, but you'll figure out why that is in just a second. As you can see, pretty much every action is being utilized to its full extent, just to make sure that these units gain XP. They do have to make it to level 30 at some points to be able to certify for master classes. The most relevant one, of course, being Wyvern Lord. Dimitri goes up against a Swordmaster with Quick Riposte and Axebreaker. Not intending to kill him or anything, but just to get his battalion in the red and break it down a little further. And Annette rallies Gilbert, just to make sure that Gilbert can one round an Armor Knight with a hammer hit. A double one at that. And then pretty much all we have to do is get Sedeth over to the boss and use... Well, we could use almost anything, honestly, but the most logical option is, of course, Swift Strikes with a horse-effective weapon to kill Baron Dominic, the very, very important boss that they didn't even bother giving a portrait, even though he is Gilbert's brother. Very relevant. Anyway, that is it for this video. A little short, but the next one is going to be very long, so I wanted to split it into two. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.